love four-wheel driving, love the outdoors, and love idyllic camping, then you'll definitely also be in love with Fraser Island. With its long stretches of golden sand, turquoise oceans, magical inland lakes, and world-class camping, it's no wonder this place attracts the attention of any right-minded four-wheel drive enthusiast. You'd be mad not to come here. And that's exactly why Sean and I need to check out what's going on with our mate Jock. Here he is. Hey, Jocko, you got me and Sean over here, mate?
Oh, I was having a good arvo up until now, but yeah, how are you?
Where are you? We're supposed to be meeting you for Fraser.
Yeah, look, funny story about that. I don't think I'm going to make this one.
Story out of life.
The Hilux is currently doesn't have a driveline, it's just a chassis at the moment.
Got no vehicle?
Yeah, it's just a sled.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Hey, Jocko, what if I said we'll look after the vehicle for you? You just get up here, mate.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. What do you got in mind?
Hilux? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a ute, mate.
It's the Hilux Ute.
You've got a Hilux, do you?
It's pretty much the same as yours, mate.
Looks exactly the same as yours.
Is that right?
It's almost a picture pair.
It's pretty heavily modified. Yeah, it's
Look,
a single cab, not a dual cab though.
Don't you worry about a thing. We'll look after the truck. You get up here. How's that sound?
Yeah, sounds good. Well, any excuse to go to Fraser is a good one, so I'll get up there.
Done, mate. We'll buy this Hilux. You get up here, all right? Talk to you soon. All right. Catch you, mate. Let's go have a look at this thing.
How much rust has it got?
Hey, Shauno, grab that off the 79, mate. Do you mind if I use it? Perfect accessory.
Maybe you didn't.
There you go.
Look at that.
Stick that on there. Mate, I found it in the back.
How good is that?
Perfect, mate. We promised him a Hilux.
We got him a Hilux.
That's as close as it's going to get anyway. We're going to meet Jock at Rainbow Beach and take the ferry across from Inskip Point to Fraser. And from there we're planning on heading up the east coast, taking in the sights and then diverting across to the west and Warrelly Creek. Then we're going to return to the east coast and head north to the ultimate four-wheel drive camping location, Sandy Cape. Righto, mate. She should be just up here around the corner. Sean said he'd meet us up here somewhere.
I'm excited, mate. Driving a Hilux on Fraser Island.
It's yeah. I mean, I think you're gonna like it. You're really, really gonna like it. In fact, it looks absolutely fantastic. Here it is, mate. Check this out.
What is that?
That's your new Hilux, my friend. Get in over.
I don't know if that's a Hilux.
It is a Hilux. It's written on the side.
Mate, what you're seeing right here is a very limited edition, one of a kind.
Yep.
Nissan TD 27 Toyota Hilux.
That was the special edition one I must have missed.
Look, mate, not many of them in Australia.
Yep.
No, there shouldn't be.
And
Actually,
the keys are in it. The keys are in it. It sort of starts sometimes.
just gotta adjust the toolbar
Does
for
it
you.
stop?
There you go.
Oh, look at that. It's one of those adjustable.
Just be careful. Just be careful. Jump in. Turn it on. If it starts, let's get to Fraser.
If
Let's
I
go
can
to
be doing
Fraser.
one better than my current one, let's do it. All right.
Look at this. What a weapon.
Let's hope it starts.
Come on.
Let's go. Let's go.
Quick before it stops.
I think it's fair to say that Jock loves his new adventure machine. And why wouldn't he? It's going to take him all around Fraser Island and back. Well, that's the plan at this stage anyway. First, we've got to get there. We're going to join the queue right here at Inskip and jump on the Manta Ray Ferry. Now look, a really big tip is make sure you air down before driving onto the sand at Inskip because it is ridiculously soft. The trip across only takes a few minutes. It's a really narrow passage of water. Before you know it, you're off mainland Australia and you're on Fraser Island. Sure, mate. A little bit of Fraser Island, mate. Jock, you froth at the best of times, mate. You're going to love Fraser.
Luckily, the Navara's already too rusty to worry about seawater, I think.
I've gone down to 18 psi. If I need to go down lower, I won't even hesitate. Buddy, I was just thinking to myself then, I live next to the coast, so you'd think I'd get pretty blasé when it comes to coast driving, but you get me up here at Fraser, mate, love it to pieces.
Yeah, mate, I just love coming to Fraser. I've got to say, it's one of my favourite destinations in Australia. I come up here a couple of times a year and I never get bored of these sites.
Right now, it's the middle of December and the weather is beautiful. This is going to make for some champagne four-wheel driving and camping. For now though, we're making our way north up 75 Mile Beach.
Geez, you can see why so many vehicles get swamped up here, can't you?
Yeah, boys, that tide's right up. This one, there's actually waves right in front of me here.
Now, we can just about skirt our way up here, but if the tide comes in too far, there's an inland road you can take on this southern section of the island. It's worth bearing in mind because remember, salt water is not your friend if you're in a four-wheel drive.
Oh. Driving through seawater goes against everything I know.
We've managed to push a few miles north, but we've come to a halt right here because of what's up ahead.
Just come across, the tides are right up, they're king tides at the moment, and looks like the beach has actually been taken over by the waves. We can't get through right now, but the boys are just having a look right now just to see if we can get a vehicle through, but just from looking at it from here, we're gonna have to wait for that tide to come down, so might be an early lunch, sit down, wait for the tide to go out, and continue up the beach.
You just wouldn't do this. If you love your four-wheel drive at all, this is off limits. Here you go, you can see those waves starting to come in now. You got stuck here waiting to try and get across, you just flood your entire vehicle with salt water. Fresh water, who cares? Salt water, absolute enemy. Look at it right now. Look at this. This is where you'd cross up here. Unbelievable. No way.
I reckon early lunch, boys.
Yeah.
Wait for that tide to go down.
When you come camping in the summer months, don't forget to bring something to create shade and shelter from the heat of the midday sun, because it can get brutal. Just an hour of waiting and that tide has dropped.
Tell you what, an hour makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Save your vehicle. What do you reckon we give it a go?
You want to go first?
I'll go first. I might have to sit there and just watch it for another 5 minutes.
You can see the dry sand up high here. Just watch.
Yeah, as soon as I get to that, I'm fine.
Done.
All right.
It pays to play it safe on Fraser Island beaches.
Righto, folks, let's give this a go. I'm actually a little bit nervous going first.
I don't blame you, mate. That nice shiny 79, you wouldn't want to get her too covered in salt water, I reckon.
Absolutely not, mate. I'm just going to take it pretty slowly and just try and see what those waves are doing for a second.
I'm gonna skip across the surface like a stone on a river.
Right, look at that. What a difference an hour makes. An hour ago, pond at height.
Go, 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 go!
Sorry, boys.
Jocko copped it.
Oh well, she got through. Just a little wet though.
Although Fraser is a sand island, you will come across the odd section of this stuff right here called coffee rock, which is formed from ancient river sediments or something like that.
Boys, I reckon that tide's still up a bit too much. We might have to go over those rocks, I reckon.
Good idea, mate. It'll be interesting to see how that 6 metre long cruiser goes.
Pretty easy, mate, I reckon.
I reckon he's going to belly out. Front wheels will be on the other side, rear wheels will be on this side.
The front's up, the bottom's down, the bottom's still at the back. That thing is so long, I tell you what, it's got the wheelbase of a freight train.
It's a big rig. Yeah, it's not too bad. Plenty of traction on there.
The size of that, that's redonkulous.
Shauno, don't think he even noticed it was there. That truck, I tell you what a beast. As for the D-Max, up and over, absolutely zero problems.
Get into it, Jocko.
Have a look at the grooves that are cut into the rock, because it's obviously a really common crossing point.
Oh, she's walking up.
Jock's first real challenge in the little beastie, and he looks like he's made it look easy. Well done, mate.
Plenty of traction, even for a 30-year-old bald all-terrains.
Pretty soon, and we're in sight of the infamous Maheno wreck. It was washed up during a cyclone in 1935. This disintegrating wreck can still pull a big crowd.
Straight, boys, I was thinking it wasn't too busy on Fraser, but it seems there's a party at the Maheno.
A lot of crowd hanging around it, and probably for good reason too. I don't reckon it's got many years left.
It doesn't even look like a boat anymore, does it, mate?
I know, I've been coming up here for about 15 years at least now, and it was a proper ship you could almost walk around when I started coming up here. And now you'd struggle trying to recognise what it is.
I've seen so many photos of it, I'm excited to actually finally be driving past it.
I bet the photos don't look quite like that, mate. She's seen better days.
Look at that. You've got to get a photo with your four-wheel drive in front of it, I reckon. Nothing says Fraser like the Maheno wreck and backpackers.
We've got both right here on the right-hand side.
I know, look at them. Oh, there's lots. Hey, Jocko, Mate, what's got more rust, mate, the Mahino or your Navara?
Well, I wonder if the Mahino's got holes in the floor, because I'm pretty sure I can almost turn this Navara into a Flintstone car. It's not honestly as bad as you'd think. I mean, it's got power steering and a 5-speed gearbox. It's just slow. Very, very slow.
I just like the fact that you can get into a four-wheel drive for what? You know, real cheap, like under $1,000 perhaps, and it can take you to cool places like this. How many kilometres on the clock, mate?
It says 430,000, but it hasn't worked at all since we picked it up, so I don't really know. Probably more. Oh well, she's got a bit of life left in her, the old girl. She's purring.
Yeah, look, it's not blowing smoke. I mean, you've kept up this far. I've got high hopes for it, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I have higher hopes if she keeps this pace up, but we'll see.
I've got here is a olive sea snake. These guys are actually super venomous. We saw him washed up on the beach, but what you'll find is that they've got very, very small fangs and they can't usually pierce the skin. So yeah, you don't get a lot of injuries. They're very inquisitive sort of snakes. They'll come right up when you're in the water diving and have a look at you. This one here is a little bit buggered. I think he's had a rough night out at sea and he's come in here for a bit of a relax, but we'll put him back in the ocean and yeah, he's still very much alive. He's not very good on the land. A lot better in the sea, so I'll just put him back.
See you later, buddy.
Hey, look, she's
No, I don't want to go.
No.
Let him go that way. Swing him out. Swing him out.
There we go.
Yeah.
There, mate.
There, bud.
He's back out at sea. We better get back up to the Cape.
Sounds good, mate. Yeah, buddy.
Pretty soon, and we've hooked a left off the beach and onto the inland track that will take us across to the west side of the island.
Ah, check that out, boys. Platypus Bay in front, the west coast of Fraser. How good is it?
3 words for you, mate. 3 words for you. One is west, the other one is, and the last one is best.
I had a feeling you were going to say something like that, mate. And I think in this case, you're pretty right.
The track's actually in remarkably good condition for this time of year. There's some soft spots, but that's to be expected.
I said to someone the other day, we're going to camp up at Sandy Cape while we're here, and they said, how long would it take you to get to Sandy Cape? I reckon it'd take you 3 to 4 hours, and he couldn't fathom it.
Yeah, it's fair too. Like, if you were to drive across the inland one, it's going to take you a couple of hours, and it's only about sort of 30 k's wide. I can't wait to get to camp tonight because I reckon it's going to be one of the better camps we've ever done on Fraser.
You cooking tonight, mate?
Yeah, we're going to catch dinner first, mate, but yeah.
And that right there is the benefit of camping on the west coast. Limited crowds, and you get to see the sunset over the ocean.
Come on.
You know, sometimes less capable vehicles really can offer plenty of fun and excitement on even some of the easiest tracks.
Come on, baby. Up you get. Hey, the nut dog. Yeah.
I guess what it comes down to is all about loving a challenge.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So close, so close. I think I'm just trying to climb 2 different holes at once here.
Yeah, you are. Do you want me just to give you a bit of a tow up the hill?
Yeah, I reckon so, mate. Sounds good.
Rogie, I'll come on back, mate. Now, you haven't got much in the way of bar work on that thing, so we'll do this nice and gentle, I think.
Yeah, I don't particularly want the front end to come off, so we'll take it nice and easy.
Come on, Jock.
Okay.
Get up here.
I think I might need a tow.
The Navlux, mate. So close. So
Because
close.
you've got your bull bar too far back. Just put it there, you go.
It's not, all right, let's go.
Nah, I reckon you're not going anywhere, mate. You're on your chassis.
You're on the chassis, mate. How about I give you a...
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Here, a quick snatch. That's the go.
Won't need much, I reckon.
There you go, mate.
What I've done here is I've used a tree trunk protector to essentially become an equaliser between the two chassis rails. He's quite stuck here, and I just want to make, I suppose, the safest sort of recovery you can and put less stress on the vehicle.
You gonna copy there, Jockson?
Yeah, mate, on you.
The old D-Max didn't even notice she was back there. Really good.
Didn't even break a sweat, mate. Loved it.
And that's the pulling power of the D-Max. It really made that snatch recovery a piece of cake.
Nice one, boys.
Having driven through the ever-changing scenery of the inland track, we're just about to pop out onto the west side of the island at Warrelly Creek.
Oh, here you go, Jocko. Hold on to the steering wheel, mate, with both hands, because it's a crazy, crazy scene you're about to come across.
It's 100% some sort of hidden secret on, well, hidden when I say it. It's right in the face of everyone. You can see it on the maps. You know you can come here, but you don't get the crowds. I reckon it's the best part of Fraser.
Will you get a load of this? Look at that water. Absolutely picture perfect. Now, what I really want you to take a look at is the sand. Do you notice anything? That's right, no tracks. Nobody's been down this beach in a long time, and that means we've got the whole western side of Fraser Island to ourselves. We're going to point the Forby south and head to our planned camp at Coonjil Creek.
What about that one up on the left there, Shorto?
Yeah, mate, that's, yeah, perfect. I reckon we'll go fine. I'll be able to walk down the little creek and have a fish. I think it doesn't get much better, mate.
Truly doesn't.
Have a look at this for a cracking campsite. Plenty of shade from the Melaleuca trees here. We've got a bit of a river on one side and that magnificent ocean on the other. Camping permits are needed for the West Coast as well as the East Coast. Much easier to get on the West Coast, however, of course, because you get so few people over here. Make it to the West Coast though, and I guarantee you'll have the place to yourself. The fishing is unbelievable, and the sunsets over the ocean whilst you're sitting having a cold beer at your campsite, well, that just can't be beat. One thing that might beat it though is a decent feed. Shauno, you're up, mate.
We're down here at Fraser Island, a new campsite. I've never actually stayed here before, Coonjil Creek. Now, stoked to be here. It's a beautiful campsite. Got to make a beautiful meal to go with it. Now you can see a few veggies and stuff going here. Don't get the wrong idea. We're doing a fish and chips with a bit of salad and all that sort of stuff. So look, it's the sort of meal, if you were to impress a lady with cooking something like this, chances are she'd be very impressed. Now, the first thing for fish and chips is a bit of fish. Now, coming to the Waco, as you can see, I'm running the 75 litre dual zone. 2 compartments, so you can run one as a fridge, one as a freezer, both as a fridge, both as a freezer. It's really up to you. The cool thing is though, there's a lot of space, 75 litres, heck of a lot more beers fit in here, but you also a lot of goodies. Here we go. Here's some fish. I cryovac this one beforehand. I actually caught this fish probably about 50 k's that way, just off the top of Fraser. So unreal. There's a bit of jobfish, that'll do. What else do we need in here? Oh, we'll need some butter, some garlic. All right. Now what I'm actually going to do with the fish is I'm going to make a lemon butter to go with it. So what I'm going to do first is make the lemon butter. How are you, boys?
Oh,
Mate, what do you got here?
This
Mate,
is my favourite part.
fish and chips. Fish and chips.
All right, where are the potatoes? I'll start cutting them up.
Cut it. No. I didn't say I want to be here all night.
Yep.
Job, while you're in there, mate,
Hey!
grab the chips out.
Oh, chippy.
Don't just steal my beers.
All right, I'm ready to cut.
No.
Oh, is this cheating?
It's not cheating. This
How are you
is
gonna cook?
This is smart.
How are you going to cook frozen chips, mate?
Well, what you're going to do is put them into the barbecue I've got going. I reckon I can cook. I've never tried this before, folks, so just bear with me here. So, fair bit of butter to make this one.
That's a lot of butter.
I know.
Yep.
What we're going to do now, mate, squeeze a couple of these bad boys in. If you can do it without getting the seeds in, it'd be unreal, but
Little barbecues
I'm
actually.
not going to promise anything. Hit the garlic. Perfect, look at that. How much garlic's there?
fair bit, mate. 4 cloves or something.
Good.
Bit of salt and pepper, mate.
Yeah, good idea.
How's that butter
Oh, it's
lemon
good.
going?
It's frothing up a little
Right,
bit.
so that's what you want, mate. You want that lemon butter to go for about 10 minutes on the heat. It sort of thickens up a little bit. That goes with the fish. A new flavour for fish. Mate, how are you going with that? That smells good.
This is going to work.
It's gonna work. Chips
Labour
out in the
intensive.
bush. How good's that?
It is labour intensive, but I've got this.
So we just want to open this one up. Have a look at this. Look at that, mate. This is nice
Jobfish,
job
eh?
fish. So nice white flesh. You can use any fish. This is a Fraser locally caught bit of fish. What we're going to do with the jobby, right?
Yep.
Is we're going to put it into like a camp oven or something like that. Put the lemon butter on it. Got a little bit of alfoil in the Baduri camp oven here. Just going to chuck the fish straight in. All right. So I just got all the fish laid out, and mate, just drizzle that right over the top. That's drizzle. That's a camp. Is that a chef word?
That's a real chef word. I'm loving the back of your truck, mate. It makes cooking so much easier.
It does,
I
doesn't
like
it?
that, Trey.
A little bit of a workspace. I'm just going to chuck a bit of chilli. Graham's idea, of course.
Always.
Just going to put a bit of chilli in the top there. Look, this is the bit with fish. You know, you can chuck a few flavours, but just don't put too many.
Especially not with a fish like that. That is,
Yeah.
honestly, man, I've never had jobfish before, and that is one of the nicest
Some
tasting
people kill it a little bit by putting too much flavours
Yeah.
in. Put a bit on top. Hopefully, what that does is steams a little bit. You know. Chuck that on top. All right, we'll chuck this one straight on. Now, as you can see, we're cooking with gas. Normally I'd put this straight onto the coals, but Fraser Island, of course, you can't have fires. There's only a couple of places you can in fire pits and some of the designated campgrounds, but
Don't get me started.
I know you
Don't
can't have
even wanna
fires.
get started.
Now, while the fish is cooking, I'm just going to throw a quick salad together. Pretty much just get everything out of the Waco. Bit of lettuce, bit of cucumber, mangoes. We've got the whole kit. A little bit of chilli, bit of lime. Toss that together, and it'll go well with the fish.
Right, you have, mate, nailed this meal.
Not bad, mate. I do. Look, seafood is one of my specialties, I reckon.
It is,
I reckon. And it really is an easy meal to cook as well.
Yep.
Just lemon, butter, garlic, salt and pepper, fish in the camp oven for a little bit. Make a salad, get some frozen fries, and chuck them on the barbie.
Yep.
You've got yourself
Done.
a meal that. Oh my goodness, that's
One
good.
of the single best. The best ever has been Sandy Cape Track in Cape York when you did pizzas.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Favourite ever.
Yeah.
This, however, I'm going to put it number 2. I'm just going to give a tip. Get to the West Coast. Get to the West Coast. This place is superb. Absolutely superb.
Unreal, isn't it?
I'm going to go and sit down over here and eat this because
I've nearly finished it, so it's got a second, yeah.
You haven't talked much, have you?
like a man mountain you're up.
It's day 2 on Fraser Island, and what a life we live to wake up here at Coonjul Creek on the west side of Fraser Island.
Unreal. How's this view, eh, boys? Don't get tired of walking out to stuff like this each day. Great way to kick her off. Oh,
Look at this.
I'm gonna stay here for a couple more days, mate.
I think so.
I said it yesterday, I'll say it again today. West Coast is amazing.
And there's no one else here.
There's no one here.
It's amazing. I still like Sandy Cape.
Let me
Yeah.
make a decision tonight. I'm sitting on the beach having a beer, let me make a decision tonight.
So should we get in those vehicles, kick
do
it in
it.
the guts?
Yours going to start, Jocko?
Let's try, and I'll let you know.
She'll start. All right,
good
let's get
idea.
going.
Get into it.
Good to go, Shauna?
Yeah, mate. Good to go.
Righto, Jock, let's hit the beach, mate.
Hold up, the nav doesn't want to start.
Yeah! You!
It stopped being Hilux, it's now in Navarro again.
I reckon Graham's cursed you, mate. That's for sure.
What have you done? Starting yesterday, fine.
Starter motor or something, is it?
Yeah, I think so, potentially. I might just give it a little bit of a tap. It's also leaking a bit of coolant.
Don't worry about the coolant.
A bit of coolant.
There?
Yep.
And then also there?
Don't worry about it. It's...
The more you look, mate, the more
More you'll
problems you're going to
find.
find.
That's true.
Let's get it started and worry
The
about that
old-
later.
The old mini kettle.
You got a hammer?
Yes, I do. Here's one I prepared earlier, mate.
Ah, knockometer.
Exactly right.
Can you reach that from there?
I was going to say, if you can't fix it with a hammer, it's probably not worth fixing.
Leave it here, mate. Leave it here.
And one of the things, what you want to do actually here, the whole reason we're going to be using the hammer is to try and hit the side of the starter motor because the brushes sometimes don't have enough contact. There's a little bit of mud, a bit of grime in there. Just give it a little tap as you're trying to start, and that sometimes can free it up and we'll kick it into life. Hang on a sec, mate. Just get down here.
Yeah.
There we go, mate.
Other one. Yes,
There
yes,
we go.
yes.
Hey,
Get out of
well
the
played, mate.
Well done, mate.
Get out of the way. Get in the vehicle. Adjust the bull bar. Good to go.
You might need this again, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Time to make a mile. Today we're heading back across to the east as, without a boat, it's the only way to reach Sandy Cape, and that's exactly where we're going, to the tip. The beaches on Fraser are littered with washouts. Now, often they can be quite hard to see, and that's one reason why you do need to keep your speed right down. Up ahead, we've got a predicament.
Boys, can you see what I can see?
At first, I didn't. At first, I just thought must be a bend and the ocean just continues around. But it's nope. That's the river.
Yeah, it's the tide's obviously right up.
I think I'd become a scuba nav if I drove through that.
Up ahead, we've got a predicament.
Yeah, I'm just going to pull up right in front of it to have a quick look and see how salty that water is. It's pretty salty, I imagine.
Good Lord, that is impressive.
It's probably 1.5 metres, 2 metres deep in the middle there. It's super deep, super salty. So this is one of the good things about Fraser, you know. Get the tides wrong,
Yeah, you're stuck.
you're stuck in paradise. How good's this?
Stuck in paradise. Ah well, I guess we can wait it out again. Perhaps Sean shouldn't have used that tide chart to steady our wobbly table in Eurong. Or maybe it was all part of his plan.
Well, boys, I reckon if we sort of hug this bank, we might be able to cross up there. It looks a bit shallower anyway.
100%, mate. 100%.
This looks like the shallowest probably spot to cross, but if you can see the other side of the bank, it's really quite steep.
Nah, that's the adventure if you ask me.
Of course, the main rule of thumb when driving any creek like this one right here is making sure, first and foremost, that it's shallow enough to cross.
I think I might just have to like bulldoze it, you know, a bit. She just climbed straight over, mate.
It can be a bit deceiving. Because the water's so clear, sometimes you think it's quite shallow, but it can be alarmingly deep. Secondly, where you've got tidal creeks such as this, and you've got a run-out tide, but waves still coming in, time your crossing.
Oh, making that look too easy, mate.
Yeah, it actually looks a lot steeper than it is when you get there, but easy.
Wait for the waves to dissipate and for fresh to run down the creek.
Come on, Nav.
That way you're only crossing in fresh water and you're not risking any saltwater ingress.
Easy done.
Fraser Island is massive. In fact, it's the biggest sand island on Earth. There are heaps of inland lakes which hold some of the purest water in the world, one of which we'll be visiting before we leave, but for now, it's back over to the eastern beach. But no sooner had Jock sung at Fraser's, and he's in a spot of bother.
Yeah, so funny story, the nav dog was just getting a little bit warm just then, so I've just stopped in a bit of a soft section, and I think I'm stuck. I feel like coming back and giving me a pull.
Yeah, mate, we'll come and get you, Jocko. Overheating, that's a bigger problem, though.
You smell coolant at all?
Yeah, like it wasn't overheating, but she was definitely getting on the warm side of things. I think just the soft, hard beach run might be getting to her a bit, so we'll have to definitely keep an eye on it, I reckon.
Yeah, copy, mate. I might even pop that hood and just have a quick check over it.
Oh, there he is. Look at him.
I thought it was a Mahino wreck at first, mate, but no, it's Jocko.
You can't leave that on the beach, mate. It's a nature reserve.
Hey, what's all that?
That looks like coolant, mate.
Smells like coolant. Looks like
Oh,
coolant.
you can smell from here.
It's been raining in here, has it?
Raining green.
Yep, that's green, all right, mate.
Ah, yes.
Where is it coming from?
Probably down there.
That's
Yeah,
hot.
that's hot, mate.
Yowzers.
It's coming out of that hose.
All I can say is he knows a good thing when he sees it.
Right with that?
What are you doing, mate?
See you, mate.
Pretty good pilot Happy Valley on this.
That doesn't help me much, though, mates. Eh?
Well, Jocko, I reckon, mate, every now and again you have one of those cracking ideas, and this might just be one of them.
Yeah, look, I tell you what, I'm pretty happy with myself driving this nice new D-Max. It's a bit of a change from the Navara, and plus it gets Graham in strife, so it's better than nothing.
Mate, I bet you'll be loving the bit of aircon, bit of, reclining seats, all the mod cons, mate.
Mate, it's got everything, but the only thing I'm concerned about is I think Graham might be pretty keen to get me back after this one, so we'll see.
Come to Fraser with your mates, they said. You'll have a good time with your mates. Not only have they left me with a buggered car, I've also got to get it unbogged. Jock, we're in for it, mate. I'm going to get you back for this one. Look at this. These blokes, I'll tell you what. Luckily, he's not too bogged, but I have got a bit of a cunning plan to get him back. This is one practical joke that he's not going to get away with. But hang on, Jock's put this thing way too deep in the sand. Looks like I've got some digging to do. Lucky for me, I caught up with the boys further up the beach and managed to get back in the saddle of my D-Max. You beauty.
Here we go, boys. Indian head.
I still can't see an Indian in that.
No, I've been looking for years too, mate. I can't see it. I'll tell you what though, it brings back a lot of memories of getting stuck, especially with the boat on the back. This year, she's pretty easy. All that rain we had, I think, has made it nice and hard.
Yeah, this is a walk in the park by comparison to the day we had your boat on.
Oh, that took hours, mate. Hours and hours.
I've seen so many videos of Indian Head, I'm excited to finally be driving it.
Yeah, especially at the end of summer, mate, and we've had a lot of hot weather with no rain. It can be like powder up through there and really hard, but yeah, today's nice and easy.
This track really couldn't be more different to previous years. Right now it's got large puddles instead of soft sand due to recent rains they've had up here. Generally speaking, Fraser's annual rainfall varies across the island from about 1,200mm on the coast to 1,800mm inland. Typically, the wettest months are January to March, so this is kind of unusual. However, it's a welcome wash to remove some of that salt water from the undercarriage.
Have a go at this beach. Look how much has changed since last year, Graham.
Mate, we just zoomed around the beach last year, now we've got to go on a track over the sand dunes.
Look, you can really see how much of a difference king tides make up here.
This is bizarre to drive up here.
Good Lord, that's quite an angle.
Oh, there's a nice little gutter down there, mate. Wouldn't mind a flick.
100% they'd be fishing that.
Still waiting to see you actually catch anything, but you know, semantics.
I know, mate. We're coming up to Sandy Cape, so I might give you a lesson in fishing, four-wheel driving, and the ladies, all right?
Yeah, maybe we should change the order though. Go ladies first, and then fishing, and then four-wheel driving.
Right, we don't have 3 weeks on the island, buddy. How's this tide, boys? It's right up.
Yeah, mate, we're gonna have to judge our times here. I reckon I might let you get ahead a bit in case I need to gun it.
Yeah, cool, mate. I'm just sort of taking it easy. They're trying to pick the waves far out. They're coming in right up to the beach.
Yeah, right to the base of the dunes, eh?
Timing is critical in this little nav. I just don't have the power to get away from a wave, so I either have to commit to getting wet or just wait.
Mate, that thing doesn't need any more rust. I'd suggest you wait.
That's my plan, but it hasn't really worked so far. Oh no, incoming!
Up ahead, we've got another serious obstacle. What we've got here is an incoming wave section and an outgoing creek. Now, the tide is on the way out, so there are patches or periods of time when we can get across this creek and not touch salt water at all, but it's all going to come down to timing.
Yeah, that's pretty good, mate. I reckon I got almost follow you. Oh, no, I got it. You got it, Karen.
It's nice and slow so I don't wash too much up. Whew. Don't like salt water. Only when I'm in my boat, not my four-wheel drive, you know what I mean?
Nice and slow so we don't flick up too much salt water. Perfectly timed. Perfectly timed. Way to go. Yeah, hang 5 there, Jocko. Time it well, mate.
Alright, let's give it a go. Nice and slow. Beautiful.
Ew!
Oh, the nab dog.
Nagala Rocks. I've been looking forward to this challenge since arriving on the island. You see, Nagala is one of those situations where you look at it and you think to yourself, it can't be that hard. And it's not, but it just keeps going and going and going, and the end part is actually the hardest. It's also the steepest part, and it's the part where you've washed off all of your momentum. I reckon anyone that's come to Fraser Island enough times will, at some point, get stuck at Nagala Rocks. Let's see how we go.
Alright, this is the first for me, mate. I've been in Nagala Rocks quite a few times now, but never had to dodge waves to get into the entrance of it.
No way, man. The waves are normally down by the end of those rocks there. Like you'd hard pressed to fish off these rocks.
I've seen photos of you guys driving down there, but you'd be submarines if you did that now.
Yeah, mate, at low tide, depending on the conditions, because it changes every year, you can actually drive around Nagala Rocks sometimes. I'm tipping that it's actually going to not be too bad today, because we've had some pretty big rains recently, so I reckon it won't be too bad.
Yeah, mate, couple that with the fact that the school holidays haven't started yet, so the traffic's been quite low on it.
Yeah, roger.
Famous last words though, we'll see.
Little water crossing here, Nagala Rocks.
I'm going to let you boys catch up, and then I'm going to send it, mate.
And then comes the soft sand section, and Shauno's up.
Mate, I'm going to give you a bit of room through here. I know this stretch, and if it goes pear-shaped, I don't want to be sitting behind you.
Yeah, you're right, mate. Second gear, low, and go, go, go. Here we go.
Give it easy, mate. Jeez, that thing sounds good.
It's third gear, far out. It is quite soft.
Oh, it looks soft. Bit of sand flicking up.
Listen to that beast, all the power in the world.
It's that bit up there that got me last time, up there where he is now.
Oh, that's it, boys. That's not too bad. Right at the start, there's a bit that nearly got me out. That's, I reckon, the softest bit.
Whoa! Almost too much momentum on the corner. Coming in hot, coming in hot.
Momentum and tyre pressures are your friends through here. Get your tyre pressures right and keep your momentum up.
Come on, baby. Come on. Oh, wow, that is soft.
Don't back off, because when you think you're through Nagala Rocks, you're not. In fact, don't stop until you see the beach.
He's not holding back.
Phew! If you think it looks like we're having fun, it's because we are.
Yeah, how good's this?
Second gear. Oh, yeah.
Look at the little nav go. Oh, what a weapon.
Whoa, that's steep. Yeah, that's pretty steep on the left one. Yeah, and Graham, it's really soft at the bottom here too, mate, so don't even hold back when you're near the beach.
I appreciate Sean's positivity, but unfortunately I'm nowhere near the beach because I'm sinking in soft sand right now. This is entirely my fault. I backed off when I shouldn't have and now tried to get going again, used too much right boot and sunk down. What's more, another four-wheel driver's got stuck further back and we'll need to get out before we can get the camera car through.
Super soft here, and this is the hardest bit. It's just flat. This is where the bit where you think you've made it, but you haven't. He's nearly got this. He's going to get this, I reckon. Nah, probably not.
I reckon if I let my tyres down more, I'll be right.
While I let my tyres down just a bit more, Sean and Jock are going to help the other 4B out.
12 PSI?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I was running about 18 PSI and I've dropped down to 12. So realistically, I let about a third of my tyre pressure out, which if you think about it from a highway tyre pressure perspective, it's a heck of a lot of air. So see how we go on 12. To get me out of here, I'm prepared to go even lower if I have to, but we'll see how we go. Back down the track, Jock and Sean are getting to work. They're digging sand out and placing max tracks under the tyres. I'll try and crawl out forward. Meanwhile, I'm not going anywhere fast. This sand is just too soft. Looks like the other 4B has had the same problem, but sank down too deep into the sand.
Well, maybe we can use the camera car to pull him backwards.
We're both going to need a plan B here. Those guys are going to use the camera car for a snatch out, and I'm having a crack at using the max tracks. Jock's plan B has worked, and he's popped that 4B out of the sand. Good work, mate. And my plan has worked too. That's absolutely awesome.
That's the hard bit done. A few max tracks, a little bit of hard work. Got him to the top of Ningala Rocks. Just got to get the other guys up now.
Look at Jocko go through there, will you? He's lightweight, carrying nothing in the tray. Mate, that is fantastic. Love it.
Come on, Nab Dog. Come on, baby. Up you get. Ew! What a little weapon. What a weapon. Nab Dog loved it.
All's well that ends well, and we're all through Ningala Rocks.
Hey, good work, Jocko.
Here we are, just on the final stretch, heading up towards Sandy Cape for me. It's going to be one of my favourite places in Australia, without a doubt. It's some of the best camping, some of the best fishing, and the four-wheel driving. Ningala Rocks anything to go by is out of this world.
You know, Sean's absolutely right. Sandy Cape always delivers in every way, and we're so close now.
Hey, Sean, LVMS is telling me something.
Mate, only that it's my favourite place on earth, Sandy Cape. How good?
This left-hand turn is one of the best you'll ever do in a four-wheel drive, if you ask me.
Mate, this is one of the best places in Australia.
I'll try, mate. I'm so excited.
You really do enter another world when you turn this corner though, don't you?
This corner right here is where Fraser Island meets the Breaksea Spit, which stretches some 70 kilometres out to sea.
Have a go at that. Tip of Fraser, eh?
The name Sandy Cape was given by Captain Cook during his 1770 voyage on board the Endeavour. I tell you what, when you break away from the backpackers and the crowds further south, and you get up here, it really does feel like an epic adventure of discovery every time I visit.
Well, boys, I might just try and find this first campsite after the dune. That's my favourite up here.
We've arrived just in time to beat the tide, get set up, and enjoy a magnificent sunset.
Oh, look at this. There's no one up here. This is paradise. Let's go and have a look, eh?
Have a go at this. It's a little lush paradise, isn't it?
There's quite a few good spots to camp up here amongst these melaleuca trees. The beauty of getting in underneath here, of course, is that you've got a bit of shelter from the wind. You've got a lot of shade in here too, which on Fraser Island is a vital commodity. Conditions like these for me are absolutely picture perfect. You all know I love my beach camping, but to find a spot like this, no one else around, tip of Fraser Island, Sandy Cape, need I say more? Paradise. We're like a well-oiled machine when we set up camp now. And before long, the icy cold beers are out of the fridge and we decide to head up the dunes to take in the views.
Oh yeah, perfect timing, mate. Thank you.
It's like a mini desert up here with this dune system occupying a really large section on the top corner of Fraser. To be able to sit up here, you can't see anyone else. That Breaksea Spit going right out into the ocean. Beautiful weather conditions, really. Absolutely stunning, and I urge everyone that owns a four-wheel drive to get up here and experience this at least once in your life, but more if you can. just as we're settling in to watch the sun go down, we get a visit from one of the locals.
Right behind us, one of the things I think Fraser Island is probably most famous for, one of their dingoes, and he's in absolutely pristine condition, and he's just parked himself up here, which says to me that this has to be the greatest view on Fraser Island, if not only us, but the locals as well, have decided to come up here and check out the view.
You know, wildlife authorities recognise that Fraser Island dingoes may become the purest strain of dingo on the eastern Australian seaboard and perhaps Australia-wide. They're normally a golden sandy colour, often born with black markings, particularly on the tail and the back, and they lose the black hair as they get older, just like this one right here.
Look at him. I wouldn't be lying if I said this is one of the highlights of my year. That is absolutely superb. Cheers, boys. Yew!
What a magnificent way to end the day. We're going to say cheers to Fraser and cheers to old mate Dingo for coming to say hello. Simply awesome. How about this? What a place to wake up to. The sound of the waves lapping at the beach, the gentle warm breeze coming through the camp. What could be better? I could sit here all day, but we've got to make a plan for the day and get moving before the tide comes in and cuts us off.
Boys, another morning in paradise.
How good is it, mate?
Mate, it's just a beautiful environment up here. I just love it. I'm just going to try and time these waves though. So, back down the island today. A couple more spots we want to check out.
Mate, I'm with you. I'll follow. You lead.
There's a couple of spots that I've never seen myself even that I'd be keen on exploring today.
Count me in, mate, as long as I can keep an eye on the temps and the nav.
Yeah, how's the old girl going, mate? It's getting a bit warm, is it?
Yeah, mate, she is. It's definitely something we need to keep an eye on, especially with this soft beach run coming up.
Suddenly, Sean spots another of Fraser Island's residents making its way down the beach.
I think there's a turtle making its way down to the sea. Let's check this one out.
That's right, it's a green turtle. This is such a privilege to witness such an amazing creature in its natural habitat.
It's one of the coolest experiences you're likely to see on Fraser Island. When the turtles come up, you've got to go back out to sea.
I really want to reiterate the rules here for preservation of turtles on Fraser Island. You will bump into them. They're doing their own thing, just leave them alone. They know where to go, they know what they're doing. Have a look from a distance and then just move on.
This whole beach up here is a turtle beach. That's why they don't let you drive past the lighthouse. Turtles come up here to nest.
They can't read.
They don't know where the line is for four-wheel drives and the line is for turtles.
No.
This one here.
There was actually turtle tracks right up in the camp this morning.
Was there?
Yeah.
There must be so many of them.
Oh, there's dozens. Yeah.
Gorgeous animals.
See you later, bud.
It's time to make a mile. We've got to get through Nagala Rocks again, and the plan is to visit Champagne Pools, an old army base, and end up at the magnificent Lake Mackenzie.
Yeah, it's still hard going this way as well.
I was going to say, I would almost call it harder going this way because you've got that steep approach.
Yeah, it's really soft at the bottom too. I think a lot of people, they don't get the run up they need and they just bog down before they even get to the steep bit. How do you reckon that Navarro's going to go, Jocko?
Mate, she's nice and light, so that's working for her, but the only thing is she was definitely getting warm on that beach run, so if she's going to overheat, I reckon Nagala's probably going to do it for her.
Yeah, you might just take it a bit easy, give it a bit of a rest or something.
Yeah, that's the plan, and then once we get through, maybe we'll just pull over and have a look at it, see if we can do anything about it, I reckon.
Yeah, roger. All right, let's see if we can get through first.
Yep, first things first. Let's get through it.
Here we are. We've arrived at the top entrance to Nagala Rocks, but I'll let Jock explain what the approach is here.
Well, I'll tell you what, Nagala Rocks is looking pretty soft at this time of the day.
I told you I'd get him back for stealing my D-Max. Silly string and an air horn. As much fun as you can possibly have. All right, that's enough goofing around for one day.
You had your fun, I'll get you back.
All right, boys, Nagala Rocks.
And Sean's into it. Have a listen to that thing. The first part's going to be the hardest, getting up and over the top of this little crest, and that's where we're all going to need to carry momentum the whole way through.
Let's try and do a bit of sand cutting for Dino. There we go. It's a little bit soft, but not too bad.
Now, after my ordeal yesterday, there's no way I'm going to give this anything but a red hot go. Ain't backing off for nobody. I'm going to be foot to the floor the whole way through.
That was a rough ride.
Of course, I adjusted my tyre pressures yesterday, which means I'm actually doing this with absolute ease. I should have done that before coming through yesterday. Well, lesson learned.
Go on, baby. Up you get.
You can hear Jocko's got a pinned in second and he's not backing off for anyone. He's having a blast. Look at him go.
Yeah! Yoo-hoo!
Of course, though, that's got to be tough on the old nav, especially if she's already starting to overheat. Jock will want to be keeping his eye on that temperature gauge the whole way through here.
Come on. Don't lose it now. Come on!
Yeah, as we all suspected, coming through Nagala Rocks has really given it to the nav and she's starting to overheat.
Go the nav, dog! Ew! The nav is definitely hot. I think we're going to need to have a look at something here.
No, let's go on the beach on the other side, eh?
How's it going, mate?
Hey, mate.
Oh,
Yeah, she's warm, isn't she?
very warm, mate.
Yeah.
Very warm. Overheating, obviously.
Definitely, and there's not much more I can do. There's not much more. I've been running the heater, been checking coolant and stuff, but she's just, it's this soft sand.
Yeah, you can see it's been getting hot and blowing the coolant out. Have you got any more coolant?
No, I've run out actually. I've run out. So, what else is last resort? Probably is to, what do you reckon, take the bonnet off? And
Take the bonnet off. That is the last resort. I've never had to do that before. Probably a good idea, mate, because that tide's ripping in and we've got a lot of soft sand to get through. We can't really sit around all day. We're going to miss this tide.
Yeah, mate. Don't think there's much else we can do.
Nah, look, well, I'm going to send Graham ahead, mate. Get some coolant and maybe just fill up one of those water things so we've got some coolant for it, and let's rip this bonnet off and see if that helps.
Only one way to find out, mate. Let's do it.
I like your attitude, mate.
Now the plan here really is just to try and get as much airflow through that engine as we possibly can and dissipate as much heat as we possibly can. So I'm going to take the bonnet off, let it cool down, and then when Jock gets to driving again, hopefully we get a lot more airflow in and around that engine and just keep it a bit cooler.
All right, I reckon.
Put her in the back.
Straight over the roof.
Done.
Ratchet strap over. Oh, mate, that should help with the airflow anyway, mate.
So you can feel how hot it is.
All right, we better not muck around. That tide's ripping in, mate. Good luck.
Heaps of airflow. Let's see if she stays cool. We've tried everything else. There's only one way to find out.
That's a funny sight, mate. You cruising down the beach with no bonnet on?
Yeah, mate. I can hear the engine a lot more, but luckily she's getting plenty of airflow.
Yeah, just keep it on that temperature, mate. Hopefully it just is enough to sort of get you off this beach.
Yeah, just for this soft bit anyway. So, oh well, we'll find out. Feels like she's got more power too. Yeah,
I think it's proven actually. It's about 5 kilowatt pickup if you take the bonnet off.
So that brings the old TD27 to 6 kilowatts.
What a little beast.
Here's another little creek coming down the beach, and the good thing about this one is that it's really easy to spot because it's dark in colour. Now that colour comes from tannins that leach into the sand from decaying leaf matter and all sorts of organic matter inland on the island. And it gives these creeks, a lot of them anyway, that really dark colour. For now, Jock's plan seems to be working, so they're going to push on south to meet me at Champagne Pools. And that's another great way to cool off. Now, Champagne Pools is actually just a large natural swimming hole created by a rocky boundary. The reason it's called Champagne Pools is that when there's a decent swell like today, and the waves break over the top of those rocks, they create a bunch of bubbles in the crystal clear water, which, if you use your imagination, kind of looks like you're swimming in champagne.
Yeah, good's that.
Working.
I know, champagne all over the water. Unreal. You're coming down to Champagne Pools, suggest you get down here in the morning because it's been an absolute circus in the afternoon, and try and come in a high tide.
Yep.
That's all the water's going to come over the rocks, and they call it Champagne Pools. It's all bubbly and white water. Well, how unreal.
No matter how big that tide gets, you ain't going to get Champagne Pools up here.
No, you know, but look, a little tip for the players out there.
Yep.
If you're not the designated driver, bring a little esky, a few beers down there. What an afternoon.
Let's get in it.
This is a super popular place on Fraser Island to cool down and have a swim. Everybody gets here at some point and it can be really crowded, but that's because it is picture perfect. Before Jock has a chance to get his jocks back on, Shauno's up to no good again.
All right, the old unlock the hub trick. Figure, you know, Jocko's been doing so well on this trip. He's going to have his work cut out now. Oh, Graham, welcome back to the convoy, mate. Notice anything different?
Mate, I don't know whether that was was that a weight measure?
Well, something like that. It was overheating quite bad, and when you went up to get some coolant, we decided to take the bonnet off.
Well, I'm glad you thought outside the square, mate, because I found nothing other than seawater, and I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, desperate times call for desperate measures, and I'm happy to report that it's working despite the lack of coolant that you're supposed to get.
That's all right, a little bit of water, top it up and bonnet off. That might be the key, mate, for your Fraser Island adventure. If I have to recover any of you blokes, it's a beer to me, all right?
Yeah, I make that deal.
If Jock recovers me, it's a whole carton. What's going on, Jocko?
Speaking of recovery, people.
It's not long until Sean's little prank has caught up with Jocko.
What, you stuck?
He's not got a clue what's happening here. Poor old Jock, the oldest trick in the book. Unlock one hub. He's fallen for it, didn't think he would. I thought he was a bit smarter than that. Turns out he's not.
You unlock my hubs, mate?
Unlock your hubs?
Yeah.
That's a wild accusation, mate. I can't believe you...
Because I came here and I stopped and I was like, oh, that feels weird, I'm in two-wheel drive. And I was like, oh, I'm in four-wheel drive. You unlock...
It looks like your fronts aren't even bogged, mate.
Oh, it looks like one of you boys playing funny buggers and unlock my hubs.
Mate,
No, look,
you don't do that.
Jock, we wouldn't do that to a mate.
Oh, yeah, I bet you bloody
Especially
would.
when there's beers on the line. Like, I'd hate to take beers off you, mate.
They unlocked one of my hubs. Oh well, we could play that game.
I think this is going to get out of hand soon.
I think I can get out.
Look at the difference four-wheel drive makes.
I wonder why it felt like I didn't have drive. Oh well, see ya.
So that's one beer for me. All right, Jock, whatever you're shouting, mate. Look, I'll have anything that's cold, buddy.
Come on, guys, let's get moving. We've got a lot more to see yet.
Well, boys, you'd want to keep that little Navara going because, Jocko, this one's going to be right up your alley, mate. An old World War II base.
Yeah, mate, sounds good. It's something to do with the Zed Special Unit or something back in the day, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly right, mate. Never been there myself, and always wanted to, and just never had time. Every time I've been to Fraser, so I'm really keen to try and find this track. It's not an easy one to find.
Ew, I've never even heard of this place, mate, so just looking for it'll be fun enough.
Pretty soon, and we're up on Eli Creek. We're not going to stop here, unfortunately, but if you have more time than us, make sure you do. And bring some inflatables to float your way down the creek. Trust me, it's awesome.
Only just timed that one, I reckon.
Oh, I'm going to follow you. The fan sprayed and cleaned my windscreen.
Teamwork, mate, that's what that was.
Now, we've followed the VMS for a while, and it takes us inland because we've got an interesting waypoint to get to.
Righto, boys. This little inland track here should be, I guess, the track that'll take us down to that little Z4 space. I need to find a little sort of goat track that leads off it, and that's about as much information I got off my mate who told me about this one.
Certainly one of the tracks here that doesn't get driven very often. You can see that straight away, mate.
Yeah, that's right. I remember when my mate actually told me about this track, he'd actually been here 3 times before he found it, and he sort of roughly knew where it was. But yeah, I've never even heard of it until the other week.
No, me neither. I'd be real keen to see it.
Yeah, me too. Anything to do with history, I'm keen. And the fact that we're driving down something that not many people go down that much is pretty cool.
You see, Fraser Island has a rich history. It's not all leisure and frolicking here. In fact, some pretty hard graft has taken place on this island. This right here is an old abandoned army barracks and training ground, and it's really not a very well-known landmark on Fraser Island.
This must definitely be it here, boys.
The walk in is through dense rainforest, and it's an amazing walk just in its own right.
I can't believe not many people know about this as well.
Nah. It's kind of cool that people don't know about it. It was hidden back in the day.
Yep.
Still kind of hidden now.
You're right. How good is it? This is the Zed Base. Back in World War II, they brought a bunch of special soldiers out here. Before the SAS was actually formed, they called them Special Operations Australia. And those soldiers were trained for some of the most high-risk sort of activities.
Definitely. In fact, at the time, the soldiers didn't even know what they were training for. All they were told was it's highly dangerous, a lot of espionage and behind enemy lines sort of stuff for the Japanese. So.
I just can't believe how big it was. There's a lot of evidence around here suggests that it was quite a big sort of camp, and it sort of goes right up that hill up there. But there was over 900 people here.
And no one really knows this is here either. It's incredible.
It's amazing. We're going to have a look around and yeah, get a reminder of the past.
Sounds good, mate.
Obviously, this pier has seen better days and it's long since been pulled down. Obviously, it would have been used to bring supplies in and out, probably to the army base. Back in the day when training was taking place out here, there would have been some large ships moored directly off this pier. Today, there's not much left of it, but it is a really good reminder of our past. We're heading in towards the barracks right now through some thick rainforest. It's pretty easy walking across the sandy base through here. Back in the day, this would have been swarming with troops training for some pretty gnarly exercises offshore.
Probably one of the barracks, eh?
I'd say so. Wouldn't have been a different time back then, mate.
Totally.
Couple of blokes, eh?
Definitely a lot harder. They would have got the sand down here to mix the concrete. Oh, tough work. 900 people. This would have been
Thriving camp.
absolutely massive.
These barracks are just an amazing reminder of the history, and there's so much out here, from old machinery to bits and pieces that would have been used back in the day. There's even almost whole cars out here.
Engine right here. Look at this, would have been an old truck. And I just love the fact that they used timber as part of the main structure of the vehicle. Wow, they don't build them like this anymore, mate.
Nope. Good reason, probably.
Probably great reason.
The size of the diff on it.
I know. There's just stuff scattered through the bush here. Jock reckons he found a trench down there somewhere. He's gone. He's
probably in it.
He's probably in it, mate. He loves his stuff.
If you ever get a chance, I really recommend you come down here and take a respectful look around at a really important and not much known part of Australia's history. We've got one more place to visit on our hit list, and it's a cracker. Say hello to Lake Mackenzie. What a beauty.
How good is this place?
Lake Mackenzie is one of the many perched inland lakes here on Fraser. At peak times, this one is by far the most popular, and it's not hard to see why.
Mate, how good is this? This is the jewel in the crown, if you ask
I
me.
reckon this is actually the widest sand in Australia.
Here?
Oh, not official, but
Okay.
it's pretty close.
It's definitely the widest sand at Lake Mackenzie. Oh, definitely. This is superb, mate. Well, that, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the best Fraser trips I've ever done, mate.
Super
How about
good.
that dingo the other night?
The dingo, the sea snake, the turtles.
Yep. These lakes, eastern beaches, northern beach and western, but we've pretty much covered the entire island.
All the best bits at least.
I reckon we have. Listen, folks, I'm not going to bore you anymore, and the reason I'm not is because I want to get in there. If you get a chance, stick it to the top of your bucket list. Fraser Island?
I reckon Jocko will be back.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll be back every year for the next...
Well, you come back 3 or 4 times a year.
I love it here.
You do?
It's my favourite place.
You going to bring the Navara?
Look, I will say it. I reckon the Navara did well.
Yeah, it did really well.
It did very well.
For
It
a
held
vehicle
together.
that was $1,000 or so,
yeah.
you know, it can take you to places like this.
You're going to need to clean that radiator and put that bonnet back on before we get off the island.
Yep.
And the driver's seat, mate.
Yeah, definitely.
do all that,
definitely
flush it out.
the
Folks, you will definitely catch us sometime on Fraser Island, because I'll be back, Jock will be back, Sean just about lives here. But if you don't, you'll catch us next time on Jocko's turn.
Full drive action.
Ew, I'm going straight in there. I'm not
Sounds
even-
I'm going to just
Yeah.
take off my everything.
Oh, no. Dribbled everywhere you have. And I want
I am just a grubby boy.
these little dudes, they're just coming down.
Grommies, mate. Hey, you heard me.
Yep. Over to Fraser Island, mate.
We're not there yet, but we're close. Very close. I can smell it. Smell that? Smells like victory. Oh, you filming that?
Strange little land, isn't it?
Hey, where have you been with your fancy floating boats? Stop it!
You show them a little bit of love, they'll go easy on you at times. Yeah, look, I'm going to treat him with respect and love and care. I'm going to send him off, and he's going to hopefully tell his mates just to let. Oh, it's got bitten just as I was saying that. No, doesn't work. Kill them all.
What?
We are one, but we are men.
Yeah, good day, my name's Sean Whale. I love fishing so much, like, I could drop a couple of soft plastics off this beach here, yeah, get a few tailor, bring them in, and then, I tell you what, in half an hour I'd have a shark, yeah.
Oh, shivers, I forgot to tell you. Ah!
G'day, my name's Graham Cahill. I'm really short, and down here in the southwest of WA, I've got my GU baton. I've got Shorty down here in southwest WA, beautiful part of the world in southwest WA.
Oh, yes. I am a cooked boy.
Graham.
Right on set.